Hello and welcome to another idea to inspire ideas. This time I'm going to open up a little and reveal my ulterior motive for this series. On my Patreon page I am simultaneously presenting 4 different projects, and I'm hoping by the time I finish them I will have gathered enough resources and connections and trust to continue making other projects. But I don't just want to do my projects. At that point I want to be more of a producer and let other people achieve their dreams. And I'm hoping this series can get my ideas out of the way, so I'll be satisfied with that. And I don't become a manipulative little puppet master ruining everybody else's work. I am so sorry you had to see me like that. Having said that, today's video game pitch was inspired by Anita Sarkeesian and her channel Feminist Frequency. Yep, either you hate me for the association or you hate me for my gender. But moving on from that, this game starts as your typical damsel in distress story. You are a heroic knight, hired by the king to save the princess. You arrive at the castle and find everything already done. All the bad guys have been defeated, traps have been sprung, and as you walk through the castle now empty, you see the ghostly vision of the knight that came before you, until you reach the dungeon where the princess was kept, and one single clue switches it. You are now walking back out of the castle following the princess's image as she rescues herself, manipulating the guards, setting the traps off ahead of her, being a badass. Yeah, it's essentially the ending of Braid, but played at the start of the game. So you go back to the king, find the princess showed up on her own, and for some reason you are hired to go with the princess on another quest to defeat the villain. One reason you could use is you are a mercenary knight, you want to get paid, but you're not getting paid until you actually do some work. It's a medieval buddy cop game with a badass princess who is still a bit naive about being a hero. So you get to play the game as her sidekick / mentor as she saves the world. Throughout the game you can treat her as a human being and help her develop her own skills, or you treat her as an object and just stick her on a button to open the door. Totally your choice, but you should totally go the first one, because at the end of the game, just before the final boss, you are captured and she remembers how you treated her. If you actually earn that respect, she lets you out of the cage, you save the world together, she becomes the queen and you her very trusted and very rich advisor. But if not, she's gonna ditch you and leave you to rot. The problem is, if you didn't teach her the skills, she's probably gonna go get herself killed, which goes against the message of the game. Hopefully you don't get that ending, because this game is intended to teach how to be supportive, not just of women and other social movements, but as a human being in everyday life. And that is the main point I want to give away. This whole series, if you ignore the design choices and storylines, if you just take the theme of each video, I am happy. That is what I want. But the problem is, most of these themes need to be marketed directly to the audience that needs them the most. If I present a girl power princess game, none of the dude bros are going to play it. The only people who play it are the ones who already agree with that sentiment. So I'm really asking you to take the theme of this idea and put it in your fighters, your shooters, your sports and racing games, anything. Just get it in front of the people who need to learn it in more creative ways, not ones that ruin their message by sticking to pre-established formulas, because that's where we usually end up with these things. Boom, headshot! Thanks for watching. This is my verbal declaration that I will not sue anyone for using the previous outline to create their own work, regardless of how much fame or money you might get from it. I'm definitely not the kind of artist who thinks I can own a concept. However, I would like to see what comes out of this video just for comparison and curiosity. If you do make something or find an existing piece that's similar, please let me know through Twitter or Facebook or email, and I'll happily check it out. And if you want to see the ideas I am working on for myself, please visit my Patreon page for samples and previews, no payment required. Happy creating, Bard Riley out. You are a heroic knight hired by the king with a badass princess who's still a bit naive about heroing.